So hi everyone, my name is Siddhant Sule. I am a sports nutritionist and today I have come here to tell you why you need to eat well. Now I've been talking to you guys, you said you don't eat anything between the practice. What do you eat before the practice? Come on, just raise your hands, random answers. Milk, okay? Rice, okay. Alright. Let's go through basic in terms of why you need to eat. Let's look at what you need to do and then we'll talk about how it is important, okay? So let's go to the basic. Now, when you decide, okay, I want to be a badminton player, you like badminton, okay? Why do you train for it? You can just play, no? Why do you become a better player? What else do you need to do to become a better player? Yes, in terms of training, okay? You train and you do your gym workouts to become stronger, to play stronger, right? Now, you need a good enough liquid and food to support training, your workouts, and everyone wants to grow taller, right? So you have to eat well for that as well, okay? So first you need to understand, number one, why do you need nutrition? Yes, to become a better player, but more or less when you grow up the ladder in terms of your growth and also in terms of your sport. You play states, you play national, you play international, the goal is always an Olympic medal, isn't it? So when you reach that level, a particular way of tennis that you play is your personality, right? Every player, oh, I play aggressive, I play fast, I play smooth. So similarly, when it comes to eating, when it comes to nutrition, it is important because you become who it is. Now for example, we all heard about Virat Kohli and how disciplined he is. His discipline is not only in terms of his game. His discipline is when he goes to bed, his discipline is what he puts inside his body, and discipline is when he takes his rest also, right? So that has become his identity. He is an athlete, yes, but he is also known for his fitness, right? So why nutrition? Yes, for you to become a better player. Now, number two, what it does for you. Now, when you eat well, what happens? Say you play without eating, what happens? You become very tired, correct. So number one, what it does? Give you energy. Number two, when you don't eat after training, what happens? You're very tired, muscles are very heavy, body is very heavy, don't want to get up in the morning, right? So number two, works on your recovery. So recovery, second point. Now third, you say you only drink water during practice. Now what if you don't drink water? What will happen? You will get dehydration, correct? What happens when you get dehydrated? Correct. So what happens now, 70% of your body is made out of water. So it's just hydration. Now when you don't eat well, number one thing that happens, your liquid goes down, your body shrinks. Now when the body shrinks, the muscles cannot become liquid and cannot function well. Every time you see players getting cramped up, it's purely liquid water, right? So water is something we need to work upon, correct. Now third, when nutrition helps, now you know why you need, what it does. In your age, we forgot the most important part, growth. What you put inside your body is important for two things. One, for you guys to play well, train well. Second, for you to grow. Grow not just in terms of height, weight, muscles, but also in terms of your intellect, also in terms of your focus, also in terms of your studies, your games, your overall health. So nutrition is just not about your sport. It has to be a part of your overall health. Even if you're not playing tomorrow, you still need to eat, right? If you don't do that well, it's not the sport that gets affected, it's the other part that gets affected, which usually we overlook. At this age, your growing age, growth has to be a priority for you. Now, when you don't eat well, what happens, right? First one is, whenever food goes inside your body, it has to decide two things. First, will it go to your sport or will it go to your growth? Growth is always a backseat. It's like that annual exams you study just a month before. Whereas your sport is like everyday requirement, right? So for example, say I ate 1000 calories, just example, I get 1000 calories, right? Now, because you're training a lot, you're training so much, your body would require say 900 out of it. Now 900 goes to that. Then there is 100 left, you're like, I need some for sleep, man. Chalo, let us go for that. Because you need to recover for the next day. Now there is no deficit left. Whatever you ate went everything to your game. Some went to your badminton, some went to your gym. Now there is nothing left. So body is like, boss, kuch hai nahi. What should I do? So growth will not happen. And every day, day in, day out, when you do that, a deficit is created. Now, when you don't give enough food to your body, body does something to survive. It eats itself. So you lose your muscles, body start eating your muscles to break down because it need that to survive. It need that to grow, right? So this is what it is required, and that's what nutrition does. Now, third point, let's talk about how it does it. Now, first one is, so like nutrition like a college or like a principal. There are different subjects, different teachers that teach you. First teacher is carbohydrates. Now, what is the work of carbohydrates? Carbohydrates basically is there to give you energy. You eat something. Now, what are your carbs? Fruits, rice, rotis. What else? Wheat. Okay. What else? Bread. Okay. Correct. Banana. Yes. So these are the foods which are rich in carbohydrates. Your brain works on carbohydrates. So if you don't fuel well, your focus drops. You are not able to hit where you want to hit. You are not able to generate the strength that you want to generate when you hit. Off shots goes a lot. Out of line goes a lot. Right? So your brain. Second thing, your energy. You get tired. Now, when you eat something, why do you feel a burst of energy? Why do you keep bananas handy? Because it gives you energy, right? It is a source of carbohydrates. So carbohydrate job is one, to give you energy through the day and to give you energy during your training as well. Second teacher is your protein, very widely known to everyone. Now, protein in athletes important for your recovery and important for your growth. Now, your whole body is made out of protein. Your body needs protein, but you don't need excess. To a large extent, you don't even need a supplement for it if you eat well. So, if your protein intake is enough to make sure that your recovery is happening, next day you are not sore, you are waking up fresh. If you are waking up fresh, no, previous day you have eaten well and last night you slept well. That is an indication that your recovery is happening at its good number, right? Now, recovery is one thing, very important part the protein plays. The second important part protein plays is your growth, your height growth, your bone growth, the strength increasing in your protein, in your overall body. Protein is a main important aspect for it. If you don't eat it, the body will eat itself because your muscles is made out of protein. So anytime you don't eat enough protein through the day, the body is like, you are not giving, I should do something about it. So body eating itself, right? Because body is very smart. It knows काम कैसे चलाना है. They know. So if you don't feed enough, the body will eat in itself. Third teacher is your fats. Now, no one likes fats. Everyone like, no यार ये मोटा है, वो fat अच्छा नहीं है. But fat is important for your hormone regulation, which plays a very important role in your growth, very important role in your energy levels, very important role in your growth. So don't shy away from fats. Yes, fats in excess is bad, but there are certain foods, there are certain elements that gives you a good quality of fat. Now that good quality of fat is important for your growth and for your sport. Do you know 70% of your brain is fat? So don't run away from your fat, okay? So your brain functioning, your brain profile is very important for you to eat the right kind of fat. Now I'm not saying eat fried food, I'm not saying eat fatty foods, but you need good fats. Now what are your good fats? Good fats, number one is omega-3. Omega-3 is found in your nuts. So make almonds, walnuts your best friend. It will not only help you in your game, but it will also help you in tactical decisions that you need to make. The brain functioning will become faster. Just like you can think, okay, what should I have to play? What should I have to play? Right? The functioning becomes very fast. So rely on those good fats which is required. Now, second function of fat is absorption. So there are certain vitamins and minerals that is absorbed only if you have fat in your body and only if you eat fat. Now what are these? First is your vitamin D. Now let me tell you, sunlight does not give you vitamin D. Okay, so you need to get it. Eating fat is a way to improve the absorption. Similarly, there are different vitamins and minerals which are relied on fat for its absorption. So it's important for you to know that, okay, you need to eat that certain amount. Okay, now we have covered the solid part. Let's move on to liquid. Let's talk about hydration, right? Now, when you train, or just give me an idea, what do you think, how much water do you need to drink in a day? 8 to 10 glasses, okay? Anyone else want to give it a shot? 5 to 7 liters, okay. There are two kinds of hydration that you need to balance, okay, throughout your day. One is your intra-workout, intra-training, meaning whatever you need to drink during your practice, during your gym session. That is one hydration that you need to look into. For that, just remember a general guideline for you to take home. Minimum 500 ml of water for every hour of training that you do. Let me repeat again. 500 ml of water for every hour of training that you do. So, if you train for 2 hours, how much water do you need? 1 liter, correct. If you train for 3 hours, 1.5 liter, correct. So that is the bare minimum that you need to meet. You are doing more than that, super, very good, you are a champion. But this is the minimum that you need to drink. Now, as you grow up in terms of your game, your training intensity gets increased. Only water may not do the job, because only plain water is not the best hydration drink. Yes, you heard it right. Only water is not work. Now what do you need? You need a mix, okay? You need a little bit of carbs inside. You need a little bit of protein here and there, right? Now you need to understand one thing. Your blood is a 6% solution of everything. Like whatever is there in your blood, right? Your cells, your hemoglobin, your lot of things are there, right? Mixing together makes a 6% solution. Now, when you drink anything which is closer to that, your absorption is at the peak. So you drink plain water, it's just water, it doesn't have anything in it. But say you add some glucose into that, say you add some sugar into that, right? Now that becomes a solution. Now the moment that comes closer to a 6%, the absorption is the highest, you get the most efficient hydration drink that you can prepare. That's the baseline. Then you work on it, build on it, on what it is required to do, based upon your individual requirement, based upon your individual sport, your health, and likewise, right? So carbohydrates, proteins, fats, water. Fifth one is your vitamins and minerals. These are small things which help, okay? For example, now you're training here, you have to go back home. You will go by either a vehicle, for example. These vitamins is your vehicle. It's gonna take your food, convert it into energy. It's gonna take your energy and it's going to give it to you, right? So these vitamins and minerals are very important. Now you don't have to skip on that. First important vitamin is vitamin D. You don't get it from sunlight, so you need it. Not just for your game, but you need it for your growth, so your bone health. If there is a vitamin D deficiency, you will not grow taller, okay? That doesn't mean you go and sit in the sunlight tomorrow, okay? So you need that water, okay? Second is omega-3 that we discussed. So for your brain. So for your bones, for your muscles, for your brain. Third is magnesium. Now what magnesium does? Magnesium softens your muscle. Now think of your muscle like a sponge. When you put in water, what happens? It becomes very squishy. You can work it out, you can use it. Now you remove the water. It becomes very hard. Do you use a hard sponge? Use the soft one, right? So your muscles work in similar way. The muscles need to be soft to function. Now when it's soft, it's like an elasticity. It grows, it breaks, it builds. So when the breakdown happens, whatever you do, if there is no enough magnesium, the muscles will become tight. So for your number 2 reason for your cramps is a lack of magnesium. What was number 1? Water. Correct. Number 1 was water, number 2 is your magnesium. Okay. Now whatever you eat in this world comes in these 4 teachings. Carbohydrates, fats, proteins, minerals and vitamins. What else? One more is there. Water. Correct. So these are the 5 groups that you want to work it out. Okay. So this is how nutrition or a sports nutrition help you to become a better player. Okay. So we covered in terms of that. Now say you are doing everything what we discussed, but still things are not working out. There is one element that we miss. When you take care of this bottom pile of your pyramid, the second level is your timing. When you eat, what you eat, and how much you eat. Okay? Now, if you eat something very heavy, say you eat lunch 15 minutes before your training, will you be able to train well? Why? Stomach will feel heavy, correct? You get cramps. Yes, stomach in the stomach, correct? So it is important for you to know that when to eat. Now you know what to eat, but when is also very important. So as a guideline, just remember, when you start your training, your big meal, be it breakfast, be it lunch, be it dinner, has to be about 1 to 1.5 hours before your training. So your training starts at 4. Try to have your lunch by about 2:30. So body has enough time to digest it, and body has enough time to absorb and give it back during practice and during training. Okay. Anything that you eat is a little lighter can be half an hour, 1 hour before your training routine. Now, what are your lighter foods? Lighter foods are your fruits, they are your dry fruits, they are your granola bars that you can make it at home, there are your chickies. So these are small foods that you need to eat prior to practice, closer to practice, to make the most out of it. Now, we take care of pre, let's talk about during. We talked about water, but what do you need? Now again, you don't need anything very heavy to eat during your practice, during your training. So what do you need? You need light food. What are light foods? Banana, dates, apple, okay, almonds, walnuts, peanuts, pistas, figs. So small foods that can go quickly. Now if you eat something that will take 2 hours to give you energy, is there any point? Right? So you need to eat something that can give you very easy energy, very quick energy. Okay. Now let's come to post. Training is done. Oh yeah, you're very tired. What to eat? What to eat? What to eat? What do you guys eat after practice? Milk. Okay. Biscuits. Okay. Come on. Come on. You guys look senior. I want to hear. Eggs. Okay. Good. After practice. Okay. Okay. So try to carry whatever you need to eat on the court. When the practice gets over, you need to eat as immediately as possible. Okay. When you play, you get tired, you lose water. Now everything goes down. All nutrients that you eat is all depleted. It's like an empty tank. So the moment you put something inside an empty tank, the fullness becomes very much. So the absorption is at its highest. So you eat good food, you eat bad food. Absorption is at going to be highest. So you decide what you want to eat. Now, if you are a Lamborghini, will you treat your body like a Maruti Suzuki? No, right? So your food works in similar fashion. You need to eat well. If you want your body to be a Lamborghini, start treating it like a Lamborghini. Only then you will reach that. Okay. Now, when your training gets over, first thing you need to eat is your protein. Protein via food. You don't need supplement at the moment. Eat it via food. Supplement is required if you take an advice from a professional and says that, boss, you need it, then you need it. Okay. If you are vegetarian, maybe drink your milk or carry a sattu powder. That's your immediate source. For non-vegetarian, carry your eggs. So these are like, look at things easy to carry, look at things easy to do. Okay. Eat immediately as possible. You need protein. Now, protein has to be absorbed. For that absorption, you need carbohydrate. Now, carbohydrates post-workout similarly simple as can be your banana, can be your dates. Now, I'll tell you certain foods which are the gold standard when it comes to post-workout meals. In your carbs, you have first one is pineapple. Second is your berries. When I look at berries, you do your blueberries, you do your cranberries. Just eat 10, 15. Okay. Works on your antioxidants and fastens your recovery process. So a recovery from the session, which might take 4 hours, 5 hours, can be cut down to 2 hours, can be cut down to 3 hours if you eat well. Okay. So works on those fashion, correct? Now, the next thing that we would discuss is, so timing, got the idea of what you need to do in terms of the timing and why it is important. Now, we've covered why we need, what it does and how it does. When you have that idea in terms of what time you need to do. Now, this is a very generalized way of talking ki you need these things, this is what you need to do. But when you are a professional athlete, right? You join an academy to become better. You don't just play with your friends and then you start competition. There's a reason why you go to a certain coach and you started playing. The reason why you go to a personal trainer and you train for your personalized plan. Similarly, you need a nutrition coach for you to tell you कि यार timing है, nutrition है, why it is required, right? So what it does, first is you need to understand your body. Everybody's body is different. Something that suit him may not suit her. Something that suit him may not suit her, right? So for you to understand what your body is, you need to do some tests. Could be a blood test, could be have a discussion what suits, what not suits, and how it works, right? So have that initial discussion what needs to be done. Do a test or do a diagnostic if required for you to understand your body even further, right? Meet with us to understand, okay, what is required for your individual needs. Because the number of food is every person difference, right? Some he can eat more, he can eat less, he cannot eat that much. So if I say eat an X amount of food to everyone, okay, it's a general, but may not work for you. So you understand that nutrition training is all bio-individual. It works different for every different person. It works different for every different athlete. And if you make it a part of your personality, yeah, he is someone who trains every day. He is someone who eats well every day. He is someone who goes on time. Discipline. When you start playing nationals, internationals, when you play that level, if you are qualified to reach there, which means you have the skills to be there. But what differs from the opponent is how disciplined you are. And that makes all the difference in the world. You see disciplined athletes, you see undisciplined athletes, and you can make out what is the difference between the two of them. Okay? So have an idea, have an understanding on what needs to be done. So we have covered why nutrition is important, what it does and how it does. I leave it up to you to have an idea what you need to do for yourself. The game is yours, the sport is yours, the health is yours. So you need to decide what needs to be done. It is your decide what you put inside your body. It's up to you what time you go to bed and what time you wake up in the morning. And you have to take in charge of it. Okay? Thank you so much. Okay. Anyone have any questions? We can take them. Parents, kids. On an average, so when you go to bed, when you have dinner, so after your dinner, minimum there should be at least 1 to 1.5 hour gap required. And in that, the more the better. Basically, more the better. If you get 2 and more, all the more better. But minimum 1 hour you need. If you do some activity, say go for a walk or just take a stroll, work on your recovery, all the more better. But if you just sit, that's not good. So minimum at least 1.5 to 2 hours you keep, and my suggestion would be just go for a recovery walk after your dinner or just walk in your house if that is not. So firstly, coffee is not advised for anyone who's under 18. Okay. Over that, if it suits you. Now let me ask you another question. Why do you need coffee? Okay. So see, if it just normally 1 or 2 cups a day is no harm. 1 cup a day is no harm. But you need to look out after drinking coffee, how do you feel? Like, feel good. What I'm coming to is, do you feel hyperactive? There are people who drink coffee at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, cannot sleep. And there are people who drink at 8 o'clock at night, have a very good sleep. Okay. So it boils down to how your body is processing. Is it good? If it's not having any side effect, when I talk about fruit and fruit, for making 1 glass of orange, you will need about 5 oranges. Can you eat 5 orange? Can you eat 5 orange? No, right? So as an athlete, juices helps. However, for a layman, I would not suggest a juice. Priority will always be to eat fresh fruit. But if you can't eat fresh fruit, then you move to a juice. Juice is always used as a pre-workout. Juice is always used as during workout for you to give that energy, because you lose fiber when you blend your fruits. When you lose fiber, the absorption of that sugar in your body is like very rapid. So if you do that during the day where there is no physical activity, body like, why do I need this much energy? Let me store it as fat, right? So you use your juice for that manner. Otherwise, stick to fresh fruits on any given day. Okay? Anyone else? Yes, please. So, okay. Okay, when it comes to cheat meals, okay, you have to be disciplined. I call it reward meal. If no discipline, no reward. So you eat 1 meal a week is what I tell. 1 meal a week to eat what you want. But then you have to eat well for all the other meals. So during tournaments, when you travel majorly, you need to carry certain food. Majorly your dry fruits, your nuts. This becomes handy for you when you don't get food allowance outside. Like when you don't know what you're going to eat, right? When you travel for competition, understand one thing. When you play for an event, you're still playing badminton. When you train, you're still playing badminton. So whatever you train is what you go and replicate. That is what you need to do during your training and your eating. So whatever practice you have during your training, during your competitions, during your workouts, you just have to go and replicate that. That's it. Whatever your pre-workouts is during training, just go and do that. Whatever is post-workout during training, just go and do that. So you need to know what works, what suits you. That's the game. You need to understand what suits you during your off season, during your training routine. And that's what you do when you practice. You upskill yourself in terms of training. What shot you want to get better at, what skill you want to get better at. Similar fashion works on your food. It's a trial and error to figure out what is the best post-workout for you, what is the best pre-workout for you. Like you ate something, you felt good. Like you ate a banana, you felt 10 out of 10. You ate dates, you maybe felt 7 out of 10, right? So banana becomes your friend. So it's a trial and error to figure out what works and what works best in that particular scenario. After the fast run. Okay. After a fast run, one thing is you can sip, but you can't gulp a half a liter of water. Take a sip or take a walk. So when you run, your heart rate is very high. Your intensity is already this much. When you stop, it just drops, right? So that drop has to be gradual. So sip water. Water is required, yes. Take a sip. Don't gut, take a long gulp. You have to drink small amount of water. As a guideline, what you can do is you can maintain every 20 minutes, sip about 200 ml of water and just maintain that. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. So we'll be giving you some sports drink to try. Try it out during your training. If there is no training, no need to eat, no need to drink. Like I said, the water is not your best hydration drink. What you need is glucose. Okay, glucose is your carbohydrates. Now remember I said your blood is a 6% solution. Now when you drink something, it works at its best. Now how do you make it? You can make it at home or you can try it as well. This is basically your glucose and salt, which is made for Indian athletes because we sweat a lot. We sweat more than what foreigners do. So you need to hydrate and work in that way also. Okay? So this is a 30 gram solution. This is 30 grams. So now how do you make your 6%? You take a 30 gram solution, you add it to 500 ml of water and you mix it and you keep drinking. That's your 6%. 1 liter, how much? 60 ml. Correct. And 1 liter is good for how long? 2 hours. 2 hours. 500 ml per hour, right? Did everyone get this? Alright. So don't use more than 3 packets a day. Okay?